Hello, friend. I know why you're here. It is later, or maybe it's early, and the house is quiet. But your mind is loud. You're replaying that last interview. You're thinking about the three distinct versions of your resume you still need to tweak. You're staring at the ceiling, feeling a weight on your chest because there is so much to do, and yet you feel like you aren't moving forward at all. It's the feeling of waiting for the other shoe to drop. Let's take a breath together. You aren't losing it, you are experiencing a very specific, very human psychological pattern. In psychology, they call this the Zeigarnik Effect. Back in the 1920s, a researcher named Bluma Zeigarnik noticed something interesting in a busy cafe. The waiters could remember complex orders perfectly. Who wanted the steak, who wanted the wine, but only until the bill was paid. The moment the transaction was gone, poof, the memory was gone. Here is the concept. Our brains are hardwired to hold on to unfinished business. When a task is incomplete, the file remains open on your mental desktop. It creates a state of tension, a cognitive itch that only goes away once the task is finished. Now, normally, this is just annoying. It's why a song gets stuck in your head when you don't know the ending. It's why TV shows use cliffhangers to make sure you come back next season. But for where you are right now, this is heavy. Being out of work is essentially one giant, terrifying, unfinished task. There is no clocking out when you don't have a job. You might be waiting for a recruiter to call back or waiting to hear if your application was even read. These are open loops, and because they aren't closed, your brain refuses to let you rest. You are stuck in a holding pattern, circling the airport but never landing the plane. To put it simply, your brain hates loose ends. It's like leaving a drawer half open. Every time you walk past it, you have the urge to shove it shut. Right now, your entire career feels like a half open drawer. You want to close it, you want to fix it, but you cannot control the timeline. So your mind keeps spinning, burning energy on a problem that you cannot solve at 3 a.m. As the old saying goes, a watched pot never boils, but your brain insists on staring at the pot anyway. The mechanism. Let's look under the hood. You are a smart professional, you know how a computer works. Think of your brain like a computer with limited random access memory. Every time you start a task and don't finish it, it's like leaving a program running in the background. Right now you have a dozen high-stakes programs running. Uh, Financial worry, job applications, networking, and the fear of the future. Even when you try to sit down and watch a movie with your family, Those background programs are eating up your battery life. That is why you feel so exhausted, even if you didn't leave the house today. You aren't lazy. You are running at 100% CPU usage just to keep the system from crashing. I want to be clear. This is not a defect. You are not broken. In fact, this is an ancient survival tool. Thousands of years ago, if our ancestors forgot an unfinished task, like finish building the shelter or watching out for the tiger, they didn't survive. Your brain is trying to protect you. It is keeping these worries front and center because it thinks your survival is at stake. And let's be honest, in this job market, with the shame and pressure of a field, it does feel like survival. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. It just doesn't realize that keeping you awake with anxiety isn't going to make the recruiter call any faster. This ties into what we call intrusive thoughts. You know the ones. You are washing dishes and suddenly you remember a mistake you made 5 years ago. Or the imposter syndrome creeps in, that nagging voice saying you're not good enough or that your skills are obsolete. This happens because the Zeigarnik Effect creates a vacuum. Your brain is desperate for an answer, for closure. When it can't find a solution to the problem, how do I get a job? It starts filling the silence with noise, doubt, and worst case scenarios. It's a broken record skipping on the same sad part of the song. So how do you know if this effect is running the show? 1. You feel guilty whenever you aren't working, but when you sit down to work, you can't focus. 2. You have a to-do list a mile long, but you're paralyzed and can't start a single item. 3. You feel a constant low-level hum of dread, like you are forgotten something important, but you can't remember what it is. This isn't just stress. This is your brain drowning in open tabs. We can We cannot fix the economy overnight, and we cannot force a hiring manager to call, but we can hack your brain to give you some peace. First, write it down. Get it out of your head and onto paper. This is called a brain dump. When you write a plan down, your brain registers the task as captured. It allows you to close that background program. Second, define done for the day. Since you don't have a boss telling you to go home, you have to be your own boss. And you have to be a good boss, not a tyrant. Tell yourself, I will send 3 emails today. Once that is done, the day is over. Give yourself permission to clock out. And finally, break the big rocks into pebbles. Find a job is too big. Your brain cannot handle it. Update my LinkedIn summary is a pebble. you can finish that. And finishing it gives you that hit of dopamine, that feeling of closure that you are starving for. I know it's hard right now. The silence of the phone can be deafening. But remember, you are more than a line item on a spreadsheet. You are more than your current employment status. This mental tension you feel, it just proves you care and that you are ready to work. Be kind to yourself today. Close a few small loops, write things down, and get some sleep. I was going to tell you a really great joke about procrastination to end this video, but maybe I'll tell you next time. Thank you.